Bridget with Paper and Prosperity coming to you with a new video today. And in today's video, we're going to do a little fountain pen 101. If you've looked at some of my other videos, you know this channel is all about planning, budgeting, and organizing. With my planning and my organizing my life, I love using fountain pens. And they're easy to write with. They take some of the pressure off that you use when you're writing with a regular pen, and they're fun. You can get them in different styles, you can get different brands, you can change your ink colors, all the things, and that's what I love about them. I wanted to bring this video because I have shared with you some of my fountain pens, some that I've gotten from pen shows, some that I've gotten from gifts. So if you're interested in fountain pens, maybe considering it, or maybe you use them, I hope you'll like this video. So stay tuned and we'll do a little bit of fountain pen 101. So I'll see you soon. Okay, everybody, so we are back. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this and coming back to check out what we're going to talk about with fountain pens, as I mentioned in the introduction. Let me get some housekeeping out of the way. I want to thank you for stopping by to check out the video, as I said, sticking around. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much. The first thing I want to ask you is please like this video and subscribe to my channel as I move toward monetization. It helps me out. It helps the algorithm know what kind of videos you like. It's also going to help me to get closer to getting monetized. So please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's get going. As I mentioned, this is going to be a fountain pen 101 video. And I'm just going to show you what I know about fountain pens. Now, I'm not a nib meister, as they would call it, someone who works on fountain pens, nor am I a fountain pen expert. I just love writing with them. I write a lot on a daily basis. And writing with regular pens, if you're not aware, you use a lot of pressure because you're trying to get the ink to come out. Whereas with fountain pens, you don't have to use all that pressure when you're writing. And it helps you maybe if you have issues with writing as far as like maybe carpal tunnel, things like that. So the first thing I want to do is show you a fountain pen, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So let's zoom. Okay, I think that's enough. So here's a fountain pen, one that I use every day. I'm going to move a few things out of the way. But I use this fountain pen every day, and let me get in frame there. This is a Kaweco fountain pen, okay? And these are fairly inexpensive. This is not one of my more expensive fountain pens. I want to say this was maybe between $20 and $30. So this is an everyday fountain pen. The clip is additional. It's just something I use to dress up my fountain pen. A lot of people say, oh, wow, that pen is really fancy. Not really. It's kind of an everyday pen. But with a fountain pen, you have certain parts of the fountain pen that help it to write. Now, this one in particular, this right here, and let me see if I could get it to move up. Hang on one second. And I can't because I pushed it down so far. Oh, there it is. But as you can see, this is the clip for the fountain pen. You can buy silver ones or gold ones. It just slides on. Right here, you can see that it's a Kaweco right there. And this fountain pen, it twists. Some fountain pens pull, some twist, okay? This one twists in order for you to open it up. And what you do is, this is how you post it. And that's called posting. And that is where you put the cap on the pen. So this is kind of a smaller fountain pen. So it just depends on your hand and how you write. But this one's a little bit smaller, okay? And with the fountain pen, what you will see is that you have your nib right here. Nibs can be gold, they can be silver looking, but this is the nib and this is where the ink comes out, okay? Then you are going to also have your finial right here at the top. That's called a finial. Some of them have wording like this one says Kaweco, and I don't know if you could see it there, but it says Kaweco. And then some of them don't have anything, but that is called your finial right there. Now, let's go back real quick to the pen itself, and I want to show you something on the nib. So this right here, where you can see that little line from where the circle is, that's going to be called a slit. And you can see it. Let me see how my new camera does. Okay, so you can see it kind of. So that's called the slit, the line from where the circle is there. all the way down to the tip of the fountain pen. And then the actual hole that you're seeing there, if you want to call it that, is called a breathing hole. Okay? And that breather hole, it adjusts the air pressure inside the pen, whereas that slit is going to be the channel where the ink flows. And the width of the slit will change depending on the pressure that you apply to the fountain pen. Okay? So then you are also going to have and let me see if I can get it to show it to you, the tip of the fountain pen. I think you could see it a bit there. I'm going to try to get it in focus so you could see it there. Let's see here. Yeah, I think you can see it better that way. So you have the tip of the fountain pen, and I'll try to find an image and put it on there because I'm trying to get it to focus on there. Hang on one second, y'all. Okay, yeah, I think it's just too small, but you have a tip on the fountain pen that it actually, and you can barely see it there. It looks like it's a little bit round, but that is the tip of the fountain pen. And on that tip, that is where the ink comes out, on the tip of the fountain pen there. That's where the ink will flow out, okay? You do also have on the back of the fountain pen, you're going to have that ink feed. So if you see those lines right there, that's going to be the ink feed. And if you're not very careful with your pens, you could definitely break those, or you can damage the tip, and you may have to have it fixed. Now, this right here, where you hold the fountain pen, is going to be the section, and that's where the nib and the barrel connect, because you can take these nibs off. You can replace them. You can clean them. I clean my own fountain pens whenever I feel the need, okay? So let me get another fountain pen and show that to you. So this fountain pen, which you may have seen in some of my videos, this is my Snoopy fountain pen from Esterbrook. It's a brand. This one also screws the cap off. And if you look, there it is again. And you could probably see this one a little bit better. You could see that tip. You can see the breathing hole there, and you can see the slit. And then on the back, you can see the feeder lines right there. Okay, you can see it really well on there. Okay, and then I think I have one. Yeah, I do. I have one. Let me take these out real quick. That you don't screw the cap off, that you actually pull the cap off. So this is a Lamy fountain pen. And basically you see the cap just pops off. You don't have to unscrew it. You just pull it off. Now Lamys are a great brand. They're a great beginner fountain pen. And you can see right here on this one, you can actually see the ink level in there. This is what you call a demonstrator fountain pen because you can see everything in it. And these, again, are really good for beginners. So that is kind of the anatomy of a fountain pen, and I hope that helps a little bit. Now, with different fountain pens, you have different sizes. You have fine, you have extra fine, you have medium, you have broad, you have 1.5 millimeter, you have 1.9 millimeter. You have different types of fountain pen nibs that you can actually get. It just depends on what your writing preference is. So like this one, this Kaweco is an extra fine nib. And the way you can tell, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, I'm going to try to put it up here where you can see. There is an EF on there. And I hope you can see it. It's right where this top part of the nib is, right there. And it says EF. So this one's going to be extra fine, okay? And I'm sorry if you can't see it that well. These are very small, and you do need magnification to kind of see most things. Whereas my Snoopy fountain pen is a medium, okay? Now, my Lamy fountain pen, and let me check it real quick. So this Lamy, which is kind of one of my everyday ones, I want to say this one is medium, okay? So this one's a medium, and I do have a broad fountain pen. I'm going to show you one more. This one is a TWSBI fountain pen. Again, this is another good beginner fountain pen. This is a demonstrator, and basically you twist it. It looks like I have a little water or ink in there. because I did clean it. But this is my Twisby Rose Gold. Let me put my hand down so you can see that better. Yeah, and you can see the little drippings on there. I'll wipe that off. But this is a Twisby, okay? And they're called Twisby Eco. These are great fountain pens. I love them. Give me 1 second. I'm going to come back. Let me wipe this off because I don't want that sitting on there. Okay. So I'll work with that a little bit later. I'll come back. But basically, this is a Twisby fountain pen right here. And I love this pen. It writes well too. It's broad, so it's going to write extra wide. I don't have this. And if you see that liquid in there, that's because I didn't dry it out completely. I can, but I'm not going to mess with it right now. It's okay if you get a little bit of water in there, and anybody can correct me if they're wrong, because your ink is actually water and dye, okay? So it's not going to hurt. You just don't want to maybe flush that back into your ink when you're filling it, okay? Because your ink can dry out in here, and that's because the water evaporates. Now this one is going to be an Esterbrook fountain pen right here. I love this one. It's honeycomb. And this one also twists. I have a lot of fountain pens that twist, and it has a spring in the tip of it. Now Esterbrook, if you could see, has that really pretty logo right there in it, in the tip of the fountain pen. And basically their caps are spring loaded so that it keeps the ink from drying out a lot of times. You might have those like that. And then I have another Esterbrook right here. And this one is a Coffee Monsters Co. If you've heard of the sticker company, Esterbrook collaboration. And you have this marbling on it right here. And it is another twist. And then you have that beautiful marbling right there on the pen. And you have the Coffee Monsters logo right in the nib, if you can see that, okay? So there you go. Okay. So the next thing that I do want to show you with fountain pens is that you have different types of filling methods for your ink. The one thing I love about fountain pens is that you can get different kinds of ink. This one right here is a Ferris wheel press ink right here. Let me shake it up for you. So if you look on this one, you can see you have to shake it because this one it's like got a glitter or a shimmer in it, okay? And it's called Browned and Buttered. I love this color. I got it to go with that Esterbrook pen, the honeycomb one. This one is an Iroshizuku Pilot ink right here, and it's called Momiji. And I love this one. It's a very beautiful red ink, okay? And you can get any color ink you want. You can get purples, browns, greens. You can get golds. You can get yellows. You can get regular black. I have black inks by Noodlers. Now, the shimmer inks, I like them. I'm girly. I like seeing the shimmer on the paper. And I'll show you some of the inks that I do have because I have a journal and I'll tell you how I keep up with my inks. But with that being said, you can put different kinds of inks in them. Now, the way you fill your fountain pens, which I showed you with the Twisby here, if you look on the Twisby, this one is a vacuum. So you see I'm turning this right here, and that's how I would fill it. I would basically take it and I would dip the nib into the jar of ink, and then I would turn it as I have it in there like this. And you see how that's pulling that up, so it would pull the ink up. And I'm going to stop doing that with this one. I'm probably going to have to take it all apart. And let me know if you want to see a video on that. This one's scary to take apart, but I have done it before so that I can dry that out. So that's how this one would work. Now, you also have pens that have cartridges, like this Kaweco, okay? With this Kaweco, all that you would do is right here, you unscrew it where it meets the body, and there's the cartridge. These, you just push them in until you hear them click, and then the ink will start flowing after a few seconds of you writing or scribbling. And I'm not going to take that out because I've been using it, but that's how you would fill with a cartridge. Now, what you just saw on the Twisby was not a cartridge. That's a type of converter that they have. Now, with that being said, we can look at this Coffee Monsters one right here. This one is going to have a converter. Again, it's pretty similar to that Twisby. A lot of mine feel the same way. You unscrew it, and here's the converter. All you do is you pull that out, and you have several ways you can fill a converter. Now, some people use this, and they get a syringe, and they fill it with ink, and then they drop it in the converter, and then they push it back into the pen, okay, until you kind of get that snap or click. Now, the other way you can fill it is kind of like with the Twisby, where you dip this into your ink bottle, and if you look, and hopefully I turn it the right way. Yeah, so that was right. So you just turn it. Oh, I don't have it all the way in there, y'all. I'm sorry. So basically, yeah. So what you want to do, you're going to put that in the ink bottle and turn it this way, right here. And it will fill it up. It'll suck the ink back in there. And if you wanted to empty it, you just turn it this way. Okay? And it's a matter of finding out which way you need to turn your pen clockwise. I'm sorry, your converter clockwise or counterclockwise. But they're all going to turn one way or the other. Now, there is one that kind of has a plunger, and I forgot what brand that is, but they do have them where they're like that. This one is the Lamy, and just to let you know, these Lamys run anywhere from like, I've seen them $13, $15, um, up to $20, $30, $100. But again, it also has a converter. I like the converters because you can fill them with ink. Some of them are bigger than others. It just depends on the brand. So here's the converter here. I'm not going to turn it because it has ink in it, but you turn it the same way you do the other ones. You can take it out. It's totally up to you whether you want to use a converter or a cartridge. The reasoning behind using a converter is that you can get more ink colors than you would with a cartridge. Cartridges are normally going to come in a blue or a black ink. Those are mostly your colors. Now, I have heard of people refilling the cartridges, but I just have not tried that yet. Okay? And let me show you one other cartridge. Not a cartridge, I'm sorry. I'm going to see if I can find, and I don't see it right now, and I apologize. What I was looking for is I actually do have some smaller cartridges for the Kaweco. So just to let you know, the Kaweco, not the Kaweco converters, not cartridges, but the Kaweco converters are actually very small. Um, and I don't know if I have another one, but just to let you know, their converters are very small and they're interesting to fill. There are a number of ways you could fill them. However, I use the cartridges for the Kaweco because it's an everyday pen for me. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to move these over my ink bottles because I want you to see this is, and let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. Hopefully that's, yeah, I think that'll be good enough for you to see. So this is my ink diary, my ink journal. This is a Midori notebook that I got from the Dallas Pen Show, and it just has my name in it. But I also have a stamp that I stamp my inks with. I'm sorry, that I stamp my book with, and then I fill this in with ink. I put the name, and then I do little swatches. So like this one is that Momiji ink that I showed you, the Pilot Irishizuku. And as you can see, it has like these orange and red tones in it, just depending on which way you move it. It's not really a shimmer ink. It just has some different tones in it. This one is a shimmer ink. It's my Diamine Pink Glitz. And I got this from Drum Ghouls in Houston. I'm going to see if I can get some of the shimmer so you can see that. You might be able to see it a little bit. But it does have a shimmer on that ink. There it is. I think you can see it there. So it does have a shimmer. I have a Jacques Urban. This is Coral de Tropics, and it's more of an orange or coral colored ink. I have the Diamine Oxblood ink. So as you can see, if you pull it or you allow it to pull, you get some green in there with that beautiful wine colored red. This one is a cloth and paper ink that I get for, or I got from the planner subscription service that I get my planners with. So I do have some small samples. I am going to start changing up how I do my ink swatches so that I know that these are samples and that I don't actually have the ink. This one is another cloth and paper. It's Bordeaux. So as you can see, that one's really pretty. I have the cloth and paper espresso, which I'm kind of liking because I do have that, I think, in my Snoopy fountain pen. And it is a sample as well. I may buy that one. I have another Jacques Urban, and this is Cafe de Isles, and it's kind of a brown. Then I have that browned and buttered, that Ferris wheel press one, and it does have some glitter in it. I'm trying to see if I can let you see the shimmer, but it does have that shimmer in it, and you can see it better if uh, if you were like here with me. It's kind of hard to show on the camera, but as you can see, I have quite a few samples, some greens, blues, and some Robert Oster inks right here, some more Jacques Urban. I have some more cloth and paper. There is one that I just got, which is this Pilot Texas, which I do like it. It is a brown as well. But this is great for keeping my ink swatches in so that I know what ink I have. And as I mentioned, I'm going to start writing whether it's a sample or what size bottle I have. But this is a good idea if you want to find you some type of notebook. And because you're using ink, you may want to get a notebook that has the paper that you're going to be writing on with that fountain pen. So that way you know how it will look on that paper. Now let me talk about that just a little bit. Depending on the paper you use, that ink is going to show different. When you first do the ink sample, it is going to look one color as it's wet, and then as it dries, it's going to dry a totally different color. So be aware of that when you buy your inks. If you're wondering how much the inks cost, it depends. I have some inks that were like $13. I have some inks that were $20, some inks that were $15. It depends on the size. And I'll be honest, maybe even the brand, because some brands are considered higher quality or better ink than others. And let me show you, like, um, let me grab my Noodler's ink and my Dracula. So here are two more inks that I have. This is the Noodler's brand. It's black ink. It's called Bulletproof because it's supposed to be very permanent and water resistant. So this one, I want to say it was like $22. It's a 3-ounce bottle, okay? So this is just a regular old black ink. This Dracula ink right here that I got at the California Pen Show, this one, I don't remember what size this bottle was. Oh, it's 30 milliliters, I think it says. Is it 30 or 3? Oh, yeah. I think it says 30 milliliters, okay? So this ink, which is also a shimmer ink, if you look, you can see that shimmer right there. You have to shake it up. And this one was $25. So again, it just depends on the size of the ink and the brand. And this is Waringal is the ink brand. But this is a very beautiful color. Let me see if I can find it for you real quick because it was a newer one that I had gotten. Or did I put it in here yet? I may not have put it in here yet, y'all, and I don't think I did. But it's a very, very pretty color ink, and I love it. I just think it's beautiful. And I do have to swatch that one. I have to swatch that one. I think I have to swatch my Noodler's ink, and I also have to swatch my Texas. Yeah, those are ones that I haven't done. So, again, that would be the reason for having this diary, so you know what inks you have. And also swatching them is very, very fun. People do it different ways, and they use different papers. But as we speak about papers, the last thing I want to go over, because I don't want the video to go very long, again, you want to look at the papers that you use with your fountain pen ink or your fountain pen, because the nibs can pick up paper. If it's not a good quality paper as you write, it'll scratch and pick up the paper fibers, whereas most of the better fountain pen papers are a little more smoother, and these are like the Japanese papers and whatnot. So you want to make sure that you're using a good quality paper with your pen, because that nib could scratch, the fibers could come off, and it could basically kind of clog the nib to where it may not flow, allow the ink to flow well and write as well as it could. So you guys, that's all the information that I have on fountain pens. I hope this video helped you out a little bit on deciding if you want to buy a fountain pen or helping you as you start out with a fountain pen. Let me know if you have fountain pens, if you're considering getting fountain pens, or if it's not your thing. But let me know down in the comments below and share, some of your favorite inks and things like that. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to ask you one more time to please like this video and subscribe to the channel as we move toward getting monetized. If you want to see a video on how I clean my fountain pens, let me know down in the comments, and I'd be happy to do a video like that. But again, I thank you for your support and watching this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.